Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. We're getting ready to start on a 3-day backpacking trip in the Red River Gorge. So this is one of the reasons I've been doing a focus on lightweight and ultra lightweight backpacking lately. We're here at the Red River Gorge. My son and I, he's on spring break this week. So we're kind of doing a shakedown trip before Montana. So this is definitely going to be elevation that we're not used to, terrain we're not used to. So I'm really looking forward to the trip. Ooh, nice. Okay, that other depression right there, you can get your foot in. Alright, so get your shelter out. Day one of the 3-day hike. We've got probably about 4 miles in, and we didn't get started till 4 o'clock. But we had a lot to see. We went by the Haystack and then Courthouse Rock. Really cool, really neat trails. Tomorrow we're gonna go by Double Arch. There's a lot of stuff to see just in this one little trail here. But we got everything set up. Once dinner cooks up, we'll be hitting bed here, and we're down in a hollow right now, so the sun won't rise all the way up until pretty late in the morning. So here's the campsite. We've got the One Wind ultralight shelter with the bug net set up, and then I'm running the regular zippered bug net hammock with the One Wind tarp. So on this trip, my son's with me, and we're actually splitting our gear. So I'm using his gear tomorrow, he's using my gear tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to be staying in his shelter for the evening, so I'm going to be staying in the ultralight One Wind. I'm going to be carrying his backpack. He's going to be carrying mine. So we're just getting kind of an overall feel of the different type of backpack gear. So right down the line, everything with the exception of our personal items, we're just going to switch. So it'll be an interesting day tomorrow. So day 2 here at Red River Gorge. This is the Double Arch Trail, and it was a chilly night last night. We kind of came off the mountaintops just the way it was working out time-wise. So we ended up coming down lower elevation, and we ended up settling in a valley down here. And it's obviously the cold air is going to sink down here, and it was a cold night. So day 2, Ethan and I are switching gear up. I'm carrying his bag, and he's got mine, so we're just getting all the straps adjusted right. So this is an ultralight pack. This is a 3FUL, no frame on this one, but we've got this one packed lighter, even though Ethan put a few fishing items in here that may or may not be needed for the trip. But it'll give us both a good idea of if we like the internal frame lightweight pack or the ultralight frameless pack. Check it out. Okay, good. Oh, good.
Yeah, see, it's like it goes counterintuitive what you think. It's like you hug the outside the whole time. Yeah. Up here. This is nice.
So we just did the Indian Staircase Trail, and that was not quite what we were expecting. It was pretty cool, but probably not a good idea with backpacks. This is day 3, and here's our camp setup last night. We switched systems here, like I mentioned, so I was in the ultralight shelter. No poles. And you're right in there on the bare ground. I just put a drum liner down and then slept on the mat. And I was fine last night. So probably the biggest disadvantage I found of this shelter, it's really roomy, it's really nice. But it was a full bright moon last night, and it was like trying to sleep in the middle of the day. So I'm used to being more enclosed. So I just kept pulling my blanket or my jacket over my face, and I'd shift a little bit and it'd come off and I'd wake up again. But that was really the only issue with it. And Ethan's still in the hammock. So that's my setup. Traditionally, that's what I normally go with. That's the 11-foot zippered bug net hammock. So the one wind's got doors, so you can close those doors down and really kind of seal yourself off. It's definitely a nice option if you can afford the weight. Beautiful morning though. We have not heard any turkeys gobbling, and I think it's turkey season this weekend. It starts. We did see a couple turkeys. We saw deer. We had some whippoorwills hollering last night, but no turkeys, unfortunately. So I'm gonna make breakfast, make some coffee, and then we'll hike back to the vehicle. The Red River Gorge trip was just intended to be a lightweight backpacking shakedown trip for our Montana trip later in the year. So we hiked quite a bit. Ethan got to set up different types of shelters, practice making food. He's got his own cook system. So we're kind of independent of each other with that. So that worked out well, but we did hit a couple snags. One of our issues was water. I carried 2 of these smart water bottles, like most of the backpackers do. Ethan had one, and then he had a collapsible bag from Vapor that's about the same size as this. I did not go with a hydration bladder that I would have thought it would have been something I need. I'm kind of concerned with the hydration bladder. because if I'm just constantly drinking, I'm going to stay hydrated, but I'm also going to run through water. And our water resupply was probably the shakiest. We use these Sawyer minis, and I've used these in the past. I've got several of these, and I've also got a larger bag that's maybe a gallon, and it's a drip bag. So when we're canoeing, that was a really convenient way to do it. We'd load up that big gallon bag, we'd set it up at camp, and then in the morning we'd have a pot full of water, and then we could divide it up into our bottles. Since then I've gone to a Grail, and that's just a simple press. So press it down, you've got filtered water. With this thing we really struggled. This is not the bottle that I was using to squeeze with. We did not bring those bags, the bags that normally come with the Sawyers. Again, I'm trying to be ultralight. I'm doing my best to keep my pack's weights down and to live in the ultralight world just for a little bit to see what works for me and what doesn't. But as you were squeezing on these smart water bottles, and these are our only water containers, essentially, we've got 2 apiece. I'm thinking over the long term that these are going to crack. I know backpackers do it. So if you've got a lot of experience with it, just leave me a comment, let me know. If there's some other way that I'm missing, Aqua Tabs obviously would be the lightest, but the water that we were able to get did not taste good. It was really muddy, really leafy, and that's after being run through the filter. So we'd have to filter it with probably multiple bandanas if we were going to go with the Aqua Tabs with the water source that we had. But the Gorge trip was awesome. I definitely suggest hiking the Red River Gorge area. Probably the biggest problem we had is we did not get on a 20-mile loop or a 12 or a 16-mile loop and come back to where we were going. We essentially were on a long day hike. So we had a 7-mile hike the first day, and we stayed overnight. We could have finished it. We stayed overnight just for the practice. And then we were out of trails essentially. So we actually drove to a different trail set. We went and did the Indian Staircase as well. So we had to drive to do that. We climbed the rocks, did the full rim, and now we're back at the Double Arch because we knew this was a nice established campsite. So the Gorge is absolutely beautiful. The rock formations that you're seeing, they're just incredible. And you go over the next ridge and there's another one. So it is just an overload of formations. Very, very pretty trail. So we're gonna break camp and head back in. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.